what do you guys think about that intro? It was super ridiculous. We had a lot of fun filming it. If it kind of prompted some retro, vibes and thoughts, click that thumbs up button. It was a lot of fun to shoot. But this video is going to be talking about items that, if MacGyver was a photographer, these are things that he definitely would have in his MacGyver kit. And in this case, I'm going to call it MacGyver. You get it? M-I-G instead of M-A-C. I know, it's silly. Anyway, this is the MacGyver kit. This is something that I always have on me, whether I'm doing a shoot in the studio, whether I'm shooting outdoors, and it has all of the essential things that I think that you're gonna need to be able to get through a photo shoot. So first things first, the bag that I carry this stuff in, this is a Peak Design bag, and it's super nice. Everything that I have inside of my MacGyver kit fits into this bag. This, of course, can fit into my roller bag, into my backpack, whatever the case might be. Super nice option to carry all of your MacGyver essentials. Anyway, let's open this up. Let's kind of go through and I'll show you guys the 21 items that we have. First up, we've got the Leatherman Rev. This is basically just a multi-tool. So of course, there's all kinds of different scenarios that you can run into during a photo shoot where you need some kind of tools. And rather than carrying some big, huge toolbox with you, basically just carry one of these. 14 different tools built into one really small, handy, portable device. You have a knife, it has a screwdriver, wire cutters, like all kinds of random tools that you probably will end up needing at some point during a photo shoot. And it has a belt clip, so that way you can clip it on if you have to carry it with you on set. So that's item number one. Item number two, this is a pack of gum. Now you can carry gum, you can carry mints, whatever it is that floats your boat. The idea is that if you're photographing a couple, let's say if you're a wedding or an engagement photographer, really important for you to have a pack of gum in your MacGyver kit. Why? Well, sometimes they might be posing and they might be looking face to face at one another. And if their breath smells, guess what? Your pictures are probably not gonna come out looking their best. While we're on the topic of breath, let's be honest, your breath probably isn't gonna smell the best either. We love drinking coffee, right? And talking to our customers and telling them, hey, I want you to pose like this, right? You're blowing your dragon breath on them. Chew some gum, keep it in your MacGyver kit. That's item number two. Item number three, this is just a lint roller. Really small, portable, travel size lint roller. Has 30 sheets on this one, but there are many times where you're photographing somebody who has a black shirt on and they have hair and lint and all kinds of stuff. Of course, sometimes we can clean those things up in post and you would never see it, but save yourself the time. If somebody has a bunch of lint on their shirts, it is a pain in the neck to take all of that stuff out in post. So a lint roller is gonna be worth its weight in gold and it's gonna save you a lot of time in post. Moving on, we have a Band-Aid kit. So over the last few years, I've carried different kinds. I've just decided after, I don't know, years of doing this that for the most part, Band-Aids is really all that I need. But if you wanted to carry a small first aid kit, probably would be a good idea as well. But this is just 8 Band-Aids. Sometimes if you're out and someone gets cut, whatever the case might be, you can quickly patch them up and continue your shoot. Now this one is something that I've had a lot of photo shoots where I didn't pay attention to how dry the person's hands were. And sometimes they'll start posing, they bring their hands up to their face, and when they do that, and you take the photograph, and you see the Crypt Keeper hands, doesn't look good, and it is really hard to Photoshop and make it look natural. So what's the solution? Little travel-sized pouch of, or packet of moisturizer. So super easy, just moisturize your hands, skin, whatever it might be. This is also not only gonna save you time in post-production, but it's gonna make your portraits look way more natural than they would be if you tried fixing it in post. So the next item, another thing that's gonna save you a lot of time in post-production, eye drops. Now, there's been many times where I have done photo shoots and I didn't notice that the person's eyes looked a little bit tired or looked a little bit, they had red veins and stuff in their eyes. And it's an easy thing to fix. drop a couple of drops of Visine in there, you're good to go. So I usually buy these. This is actually a bigger pack, but they do make these in a travel size as well. And they sell them in like packs of 12 or 24 for like $1 or $2 a piece. And I'll link all of these things in the description of this video if you guys need to pick any of these things up. But these little travel Visine kits are excellent, and that way they just save you a bunch of time from trying to fix that whole red eye situation in post. And it never looks natural, right? Like if you can get away with just taking care of it now with just like 2 eye drops, trust me, if you're gonna deliver like 15, 20 photos and you have to retouch the eyes in everyone, it's a big, huge pain in the neck. The next thing, moving on, Q-tips. These things are gonna be useful in a number of different ways. They're gonna help you for cleaning makeup. Sometimes maybe, I don't know, some people have earwax and you need to clean the outside of the ears. They're able to do that. These are gonna have a bunch of different purposes throughout the course of your career. Really important to have Q-tips, and specifically buy the name brand stuff. I have gone out and I've purchased the store brands, or I bought like the off-brand Q-tips, and they break, they just don't hold up the same. So I'd highly recommend buy the name brand stuff. It's gonna last you a lot longer. They also make these in a travel kit like you see here, and they'll probably last you for a very, very long time. Next up in my kit, I have these lens cleaning wipes from Hoodman. These are actually 2 to a pack here. And anytime if I'm out shooting and I have stuff on my lens, this is one of 2 ways that I will attempt to clean off my lenses. So I have the wipes that I will use, and I also have a rocket blower. This thing right here comes in super clutch. Clean your lenses, you can clean off your eyepiece. There's just a bunch of different ways that this is gonna come in handy during a photo shoot. So you definitely wanna make sure that you have this at the very least just for blowing off dust and stuff like that off your lenses. But you'll use these in conjunction with your lens cleaner, and it's gonna come in handy. Let's keep looking in our bag here. One of the other things, this is something that will really, really come in handy, safety pins, right? Many times somebody has clothing, a shirt on, or something that doesn't quite fit them correctly. So you can use safety pins to be able to kind of tighten their clothes and just make it fit a little bit better. So these are super cheap as well. You could buy like a box of these for $1 or $2, and they're gonna come in handy like 50,000 times over. Another thing that's gonna come in handy, gaffer tape. So there's a million ways to use this. I probably could do a whole video on all the different ways that you can use this in your kit, but this is always gonna come in clutch. It's always gonna come in handy. You should always have a roll, and I would even say if you've got the room in the bag, maybe get 2. Have like a black roll and have a white one, so that way you have 2 color options just in case. Carrying on, so sanitizer. You might be out and about. If you're doing an outdoor shoot, you're picking up stuff off the ground, moving trees, maybe moving garbage, who knows what else it is. We need to stay healthy, right? So hand sanitizer is something that I have in my kit, and I pretty much keep an eye on this, because if it starts to get low, I'll stop by a gas station or something and just buy a new one and just pop it in the bag. But super handy. Next thing in my kit, this one, I'm not gonna lie. This, you could use it for your clients. This is just a little portable or personal groomer. Works off of a AAA battery, and you use it to cut hair. It's useful. There's been times where I've photographed clients and they have like nose hairs that are really long and unkept, or maybe their eyebrows have like 1 or 2 hairs that are just coming out to party. This is really good. You can give them a quick trim. Of course, this piece comes off and you can buy replacement tips. So obviously you're not gonna keep the same one and just use it on everyone, because that's not super sanitary unless you clean them. But you could also buy the tips by themselves. If someone ends up using it, just throw the tip away or just give it to them, and they can shave. Pretty handy. All right, let's carry on. Next item. These are really cute. These are little miniature A-clamps. And these you could use for clothing as well. So if you're trying to make the clothing fit a little bit tighter, you know, you could always pinch them to like make everything a little more fitted and give that look in the event that the safety pins don't work. I usually have like 4 or 5 of these inside of my bag. And you know, again, they're very small, very lightweight, and there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. If a person's jacket, for some reason, the zipper breaks or whatever, like there's so many random scenarios that I've used these over the years, and I'm always happy to have them. I used to carry the bigger ones, and then I realized that, oh wow, they make these like really small little clamps. These are awesome. Definitely get, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these and just keep them in your kit, because they're gonna come in handy. All right, so this one was kind of fun. So you should always have a brush with you in your MacGyver kit. Now my brush, this one actually, you know, kind of folds away and then it pops open so that way they can brush their hair. Sometimes people forget to bring a brush, so it's always good to have one handy. This one also has a mirror. So, you know, this is kind of like a 2-in-1 type of item where you have the brush and you also have the mirror on the inside. So another super clutch, very handy little accessory to keep. These, you could buy off-brand chapstick in the event that, you know, sometimes people have dry lips. Obviously, you don't wanna keep like one chapstick and let everyone use it, because that's gross. So maybe, you know, buy a 2 or a 3-pack, or go to Costco and buy like a huge box and just keep them handy. You know, this is gonna save your butt, because retouching lips and making it look moisturized as if they use chapstick when their lips are actually dry is not gonna work. It just doesn't look good. So have some chapstick handy. And again, that's gonna save you a lot of time in post-production. Carrying on with the kit here. Now, of course, now that I'm here telling you this, I forgot what these are called, but these are made by Think Tank. And of course, I'm gonna link this in the description for the video. But these are super handy. There's times where I want to connect things, like let's say if I have a cable that's just dangling, sometimes I kind of just wrap this around the tripod, and then I just use this to kind of tighten things down. These come in packs of like 10, so, and they come in different sizes as well. So I tend to have at least 5 or 6 of these in my bag. And again, it's gonna be one of those things that will be really, really helpful for you to use at various times in your photo shoots. The next item on the list, you should have some of these for your models. They make these little hairpins in multiple different colors, and I keep these in Ziploc bags. So I forgot to mention that earlier. You see the safety pins, you see these hairpins. I keep everything in a little Ziploc bag. Back in the day, I used to just keep them loose inside of my little MacGyver bag, and stuff was everywhere. So if you want to keep it nice and simple and organized, put them in a little Ziploc bag. But again, usually people bring these things if they have long hair, but sometimes they just forget. Maybe you want to put their hair up and they were expecting to have their hair down for the shoot. So you should have these handy just in case they didn't bring them and you want to go for something a little more creative. Of course, going along with the whole hair thing, these little hair ties, these are going to come in handy as well. Very similar to these little ties from Think Tank, but of course they're specifically made for hair, and I keep these in my Ziploc bag as well in case we're out shooting. If we want to have them put their hair in a ponytail or whatever the case might be to take photos to accentuate the face, we can do that with this. All right, almost at the end here. The next thing, we have these little pick flosses, little floss sticks. These are really handy as well. Sometimes people have stuff in their teeth, right? So help them out. Just hand them one of these. They can take the stuff out of their teeth and they'll be good to go. They'll be really happy. And you'll be happy too, because trying to retouch like gunk in between the teeth, it's an absolute nightmare. Don't want to do it. I also carry these little bungee cables that have these hooks. And the last time that I used it, what I ended up doing was I was doing an outdoor shoot and there was a branch in the way. So what I did was I hooked the branch and I kind of like tied it to the tree branch. So that way it just kind of held it out of the way. And then when I was done, you know, it just pops back. That way you don't kill nature, right? We want to preserve nature, and we don't want to be those photographers that go out in public and start trampling on flowers and trees and stuff like that. So I've used it for that. I've also used this to hang my bag above the ground if it's wet on the ground or whatever the case might be. So again, another very, very useful item to keep with you. So those are the 21 essential things that I think that you should have in your kit. But I do have a bonus item that I would recommend that you do think about adding to your kit. And that's one of these little portable LED lights. Now, the one that I use is one made by Aperture. Doesn't actually have any batteries or anything that you need to change. You just plug it in via USB. And as you can see, very, very bright. I use these if I'm out shooting at night. If you need to try to find something in your car, in a bag, wherever. This is gonna be very, very useful for you to be able to find stuff when light is not available for you. And at times you could actually use it as a nice kind of a soft fill if you're gonna shoot video. I've actually used it at times to add catch lights to a portrait. So maybe the natural light looks really good, and what I'll do is just kind of add this as like a little accent light, just to give a little bit of a kick of light in the person's eyes. So it's kind of a bonus item. You don't necessarily have to have a light, but it is kind of handy at times for you to be able to kind of find things inside of your MacGyver bag. So these are the essential items that I think that you should definitely have in your MacGyver kit. And these are all things that over the years, as I've kind of gone throughout my career, I've had times where I've needed these, whether it was one time or 30 times. These are all things from experience that have come in super clutch during a photo shoot. But I'm sure that there's things that maybe you have had scenarios where there are things that are like essential for your own MacGyver kit. So what are those items? Let me know in the comment section below, because I don't know, maybe I might need a bigger bag with more stuff to put into it, but definitely let us know in the comment section. Help us all out with that. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you a good laugh, but I also hope that you found it informative. So check you out in the next one.